Sacramento became fascinated with the radio almost as soon as radio became available commercially on the West Coast. It probably started in San Francisco, and Sacramento had the second or third station up on the coast. It was a small station. It was a partnership between some local Sacramento merchants, the Kimball Upson Company, which was a sporting goods store, Holbrecht, which was a electrical store, I think still in existence as a company, and the McClatchys. And I have heard also there was another partner, which was the Sacramento Union. It wasn't in operation too long before McClatchy's took over the entire operation, but Holbrecht stayed in the business of making radios, or at least selling radios under their name for quite a long time. At any rate, McClatchy's looked at the thing, renamed it KFBK as the call letters, and they looked upon this as a new adventure in journalism for them, and it was also looked as an entertainment potential. There was very little competition for a while. Then a few other stations started slowly to come up and compete with McClatchy. One of the earlier stations was KCRA Radio. And KCRA Radio was over the Country Maid on J Street, was where their studio was. And their operation was interesting in the sense, for us, they were a union station from the time they went on the air. And therefore they would play no non-union records. And these non-union records kept coming in from wannabe stars, and they just went into their library. When they gave us their library of 26,000 albums from KCRA, many of the labels were non-union labels of fairly famous stars, things that probably didn't get on the air very much because they were recorded on the non-union label. So it was a nice addition to our collection. Radio stations proliferate in the Sacramento region and follow the same sort of pattern as everywhere else in the country. Eventually they start to become quite valuable assets, and they are bought by bigger and bigger companies and are most all owned outside of the Sacramento region now. McClatchy sold off their radio stations, I guess now maybe 30 years ago. And it's just part of their operation of concentrating on news printing. The radio stations have another impact on Sacramento, and that is they drive a consumer market. And by playing these records on the air, they give a chance to a young fella whose father owns a drugstore named Solomon. And he will open in his father's drugstore a little record business, which will become Tower Records. And Tower Records will become an international pace setter for the record industry. So the radio stations sort of give birth to other things that develop in our community that are important.